just gotta be happy, man. Good days, bad days, it's all part of life. But you must keep the groove on and enjoy every single day. I'm sure you've had some happy days before. So what makes you think you can't have more? Keep on fighting and you'll see. You will soon see rainbows. Hey, come on. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. Beautiful clouds, where you are, there are beautiful clouds, where you are, oh, oh.
After you go into the grave, your beauty, your riches, nothing else matters. It's the name you left behind that matters.
The government and its spin doctors, led by the NDC party officials who did that press conference, are trying to convince the people of Ghana that the loss is 15.6 billion Ghana cedis. And colleagues, we don't blame you. We've seen many of you reporting that the loss is 15.6 billion cedis. We regret to tell the people of Ghana that this is not true. The true operating loss of the Bank of Ghana for the year 2025 is 34.9 billion Ghana cedis. And in fact, if you add back the sale of the gold, or the proceeds from the sale of the gold, the 9.6 that I've just shown you, the true comprehensive loss position of the Central Bank of Ghana is 44 billion Ghana cedis. I'll show you with the numbers. As I've mentioned, that gold sale was to reduce it from 44 to 35, and also to remove the policy insolvency that they found themselves. I want to begin with a note of caution. and we give this caution respectfully, in good faith, and in accordance with law. Section 58 of the Bank of Ghana Act, Act 612 of 2002, prescribes the sequence for how the central bank's audited accounts should come into the public domain. First, the Bank of Ghana, within the first 3 months after the end of the year, has to transmit the audited accounts to the Ministry of Finance and publish same in the Gazette. And then second, that's subsection 2, the minister responsible for finance is supposed to transmit the accounts to Parliament with comments. The Act does not say that the Bank of Ghana should hand over the accounts to a political party to announce prior to the minister presenting it to Parliament. What happened on that Thursday when the NDC party, including non-MPs, came to Parliament, to the precincts of Parliament, to hold a press conference to announce the audited accounts of the Bank of Ghana, was an illegality. Not only was it an illegality, it was an amount, or it was an act of blatant politicization of the Bank of Ghana and its work. The governor, the board, and the government should take note that this politicization of the central bank will create issues for the operational independence and credibility of the bank going forward. And this must stop. Mr. Governor, if you allow the NDC party to dictate to you how to comply with the laws, you will set precedents that will collapse the operational independence of the central bank. The bank is not a political party. The board of the bank is not the majority caucus. The audited statements of the central bank cannot be reduced to a political party's press release. Politicization of the work of the bank is corrosive, and it should not happen again. Now, having dealt with that, we want to take you.
They will laugh at you. If you don't go to play bribe, you will not get government contract. This is the world. This is the reality of the world. Let me veer off a little. I became so worried last week that we are being told policy rate has come down. Interest rate has come down. Now, if you put your 1,000 cedis in government treasury bill, at the end of the year, 365 days, the interest we will get is 50 pesos. Yeah, that is what is happening. They say it's good for the economy. Really? But everything is increasing. So why are they just giving us figures or lying to us? I mean, let's be real. If the figures you are giving is not reflecting in our pocket, you are lying to us. Somebody say, I hear you. Listen, I pray for this nation a lot. A bag of sachet water. We used to buy 9 cedis. Recently, I was going to buy it. They said they have increased it to 12 cedis. So what is the essence of the interest rate going down? What is the essence of the dollar stability? I mean, how? Somebody rise up and say, I hear you. Let us be real. Let us be real. Slap a high five to somebody and say, let us be real. I became so worried. I was praying this night. I slept at 9:15. I got up at 12:15. I haven't slept. Crying, weeping. And I see faces of some of the ladies, some of the men, some of the business. I see the faces. And that's what makes me break through. I don't pray general prayers. If we are living a horrible life, God will not bring your face to me to pray for you. Oh, yes. What I said, I just veered off. But I need to say it because Nayamiya. Say, Radiaden. What the thousands is the quarter 50 pesos. I called a banker and he told me, because the interest rate, the treasury bill, I mean, what do you call it? Fixed deposits is now 2.7, 3.1, because treasury bill is now 4.8. And they say that thing is good. Good for who? There was a man who was building a house for his children, and he was starving the children. He said, "Me sit down, mamu. Me sit down, mamu. Or this is sit down. Or this is come do mamu. Charlie, or board down so start a plaster and many in a woo. And you want a better than that is what they are doing to us." Listen, until we stand up and speak the truth from the word of God, we just accept anything anyhow. Somebody rise up and say, "I hear you." Am I speaking sense? Or maybe you don't go to the market I go. You don't go to the market I go to. Charlie, if you love me, stand up and clap your hands. If you don't love me, sit down. If you don't stand up and clap your hands, I will suspect you.
Something come. Something more, 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 something come. Go. Come. Something more, something come.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, good morning and thank you very much for joining the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Audu Moro and it's always a pleasure to come your way. It's a beautiful Monday morning as I always say, it's the beginning also, not just of the week, but it's also the beginnings of the month. Today is the 4th day in the month of May, and it's just my hope that this month brings you joy, brings light to your path, peace to your heart, and also joy to your days, that the next 27 days or so. So let's keep at it. We would certainly and definitely arrive at our destination, but you've got to work hard at it if indeed you really want to arrive at that destination, or you want to achieve that purpose and that goal or that aspiration or dream that you have in your life. So let me just say that I want to say big thanks to you for joining us from 7 a.m. to 9:55. I also want to say big thanks to the Almighty God for making it possible, in fact, for giving us the rare privilege of returning here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. I'll go straight ahead and look at what the papers are reporting this morning. As you can see, already put out there on your screens. The Daily Graphic is reporting that the Finance Minister files tax returns to boost compliance drive. There's public office holders must account to public. Government targets fair play, that's fair pay. Independent Emoluments Commission to remove Article 71 distortions, President tells workers. And there's public office holders must account to public. Daily Guide. First 110 kg Damai Mine Gold sold to Gold Board. Otunfo Honest Angela lists. The CRI blows alarm. Child sex abuse cases surge in Accra. Buffer stock trial. Court strikes out ages to witness statement. BOG's losses 44 billion cedis, not 15.6 billion cedis, according to the minority. The Ghanaian Times says the averting power crisis, government eyes 1,200 megawatt gas-fired plant. BECE kicks off nationwide today, over 620,000 candidates to sit. Asantehene Honest Angela list. We will turn stability into job prosperity, President assures workers on May Day. Defilement tops child abuse cases in Ghana, Child Rights International study reveals. The Insight. Reparatory Justice Framework, Accra to host high-level dialogue in June. Asantehene Honest Angela list. And there's energy situation is stable. John Jinapua assures Ghanaians. And as Chief of Staff announces Presidential Delivery Unit to track government commitment. Dream Alive Construction reaffirms ownership of Akboma land, issues final warning to encroachers. Nana Ampem urges President Mahama to address Sampa chieftaincy dispute. Attempt to sabotage Lands Minister backfires as anti-Galamsey crackdown intensifies. The Herald says the $1 billion legal storm over Bogo Suprestian mine to Heath Goldfields begins. There's Gridco CEO annual leave circular clouds government Akosombo Fire claim. There's Majority Chief Whip explains delay in scrapping law school entrance exams. And there's poultry farmer demands transparency, fairness in Nkokon Ketenkete distribution. And there's Black Rasta faces contempt of court. The Ghanaian Publisher says Gold Board buys Daman's first output, gold output. NDC pushes BOG into insolvency, according to the minority. And there's Republic versus Chairman Wontumi cross-examination exposes inconsistencies in prosecution's case. Buffer stock trial, court strikes out ages witness statement. And as VIP demands 24-hour police presence on Accra-Kumasi Highway. The Custodian. Mahama pushes for law to criminalize sex for jobs. There's BOG policy insolvent, spends 16.7 billion cedis to drag inflation to 3.2%, according to minority decries. Now, Gusheu curfew lifted. MP Tampoli gives relief items to victims. The mine sells total gold output to Gold Board. President Mahama, so now with the Daily Post. Asidun Kitia likens Bamia to a man who vents his anger on his wife after he has been severely beaten up by another man. And then as President Mahama joins global leaders in Gabon for the first International Forum on Innovation and Development. And as the Mine Gold Mine sail to Gold Board sparks call for greater industry contribution to national reserves, Bamia defiles the SDA pulpits. And then you have the Business and Financial Times that says securitization guarantees key to unlocking diaspora bond demand. And then you also have bankability, not funding limits women access. Stanbic's Mariana Amati. Local producers ensures over 55 billion cedis worth of unsold rice. Economy is set for consolidation phase. Old Mutual launches funeral-focused legacy transition plan. And then there's macroeconomic stabilization achieved, but it's the real sector responding. My Joe Online, it says the numbers speak for themselves. Majority Caucus fires back at minority over BOG losses. There's Kumasi Ridge faces temporary outages as ECG begins transformer upgrade from May 6th to May 9th. BOG gold sale row deepens as Majority Caucus rejects minorities policy insolvency charge. And stay calm and trust your hard work. Harry Idrisu to be ECE candidate. The City Newsroom says the BOG's 93 billion cedis equity hole could burden taxpayers, according to Abena Osei-Asare. She's a former deputy finance and economic minister, and also chairperson of the Parliament's Public Accounts Committee. Now, there's also over 620,000 students set for BEC today. BOG gold gains legitimate, not concealment of financial distress. Let me now go to Ghana Web that says that 3 Ghanaians among 25 convicted in $215 million international scam in US, and as Bank of Ghana balances on the knife edge. ECG to upgrade Kumasi Ridge substation transformer. Kwadwo Asamoah raises red flag over Black Star quality ahead of 2026 World Cup. And then you have a banker in court for allegedly stealing 12 million cedis and spending. MetroTVOnline.com says 2026 BEC begins today. 620,000 students or candidates to sit exams. Majority accuses minority of distorting BOG report, warns against alarmist narrative. And then it's High Court stops at Dambrobe installation ceremony. And as BOG outlines recapitalization roadmap to restore negative equity by 2032. All right, so that's it for the newspapers and the online portal or the online news portal reviews. So please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. You don't want to go anywhere.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana colorectal center, aimed to serve a peculiar health need.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Yeah, me now they see. Hey, you look fresh.
Hey, hey.
With your label today. Me.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
Grab your bottle and unleash the taste of Storm Energy Drink. A bold flavor, a big attitude, feel the vibe, own the moment. It's your time to be different. Storm Energy Drink, make your mark.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
Looking for comfort, convenience, and class all in one place? Welcome to Stay Easy Apartments on Conference Center, where modern living meets exceptional service. Whether you're staying for business or leisure, Stay Easy offers you a home away from home. Spacious and well-furnished apartments, pool, gym, and everything you need to relax and feel at ease. Planning a meeting, workshop, or special event? Our event ground and state-of-the-art conference center is designed to host your events and bring your vision to life. From corporate gatherings to private functions, we provide the perfect space, supported by modern equipment and a professional team ready to assist you. At Stay Easy, your comfort and success are our priority. Book your stay or reserve your space today. Call us at 020-739-1473 or 0244-226367. Stay Easy Apartments and Conference Center. Stay easy with us.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, a man is swing, and a sansu mama hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Hive Management Systems, in partnership with the Solid Waste Association of Ghana, invites you to the Green Go Hub official launch and fundraising event. Theme: Powering the Circular Economy with Smart Technology, with a focus on incentivizing segregation at source. Join us at the Mamfi Hall Gimba Green Hill campus on Thursday, 7 May 2026 at 10 a.m. Our special guest of honor is Niayi Bonte II, Bese Manche Adonte of the Ghana State, Chairperson, Nanama Entry, Executive Secretary of the Environmental Service Providers Association. Keynote addresses will be delivered by Honorable Samuel Nate George, Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, and Professor Nanama Brown Kluche, Chief Executive of the Environmental Protection Authority. This event is proudly endorsed and supported by the Ghana National Plastic Action Partnership, the Environmental Protection Authority, the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, the Environmental Service Providers Association, Zoomlion Ghana Limited, and Indigo Foundation, with media support from Media General, UTV, Metro TV, MX24, and 1957 News. To register as a sponsor or donor, visit www.gringo-hub.com or call 054-342-7085. Your fundraising host and MC will be Mr. Alfredo Kanse. With strategic partnership from Globalware, the East Legon Executive Fitness Club, Blue Skies, and Margins Group, this event is powered by MTN as the official title sponsor. Be part of the movement towards a cleaner, smarter, and more sustainable future.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
tum. Miss your friend me calico, just call me cockroach. Now miss your friend me once now.
Hey, that's you.
Improve car.
Yeah.
Captain was key to double the action. Sasso spray, Miss your friend is Sasso quell. Yeah, come to my Sasso.
Sasso, come tum preko.
Kanidina. Aye Kanidina. Aye Huga Breke. Aye Shira Kanidine. Shira Kanidine. Aye Kanidina. Aye Huga Breke.
They will laugh at you. If you don't go to pray, bribe, you will not get government contract. This is the world. This is the reality of the world. Let me veer off a little. I became so worried last week that we are being told policy rate has come down. Interest rate has come down. Now, if you put your 1,000 cedis in government treasury bill, at the end of the year, 365 days, the interest we will get is 50 pesos. Yeah, that is what is happening. They say it's good for the economy. Really? But everything is increasing. So why are they just giving us figures or lying to us? I mean, let's be real. If the figures you are giving is not reflecting in our pocket, you are lying to us. Somebody say, I hear you. Listen, I pray for this nation a lot. A bag of sachet water. We used to buy 9 cedis. Recently, I was going to buy it. They said they have increased it to 12 cedis. So what is the essence of the interest rate going down? What is the essence of the dollar stability? I mean, how? Somebody rise up and say, I hear you. Let us be real. Let us be real. Slap a high five to somebody and say, let us be real. I became so worried. I was praying this night. I slept at 9:15. I got up at 12:15. I haven't slept. Crying, weeping. And I see faces of some of the ladies, some of the men, some of the business. I see the faces. And that's what makes me break through. I don't pray general prayers. If you are living a horrible life, God will not bring your face to me to pray for you. Oh, yes. What I said, I just veered off. But I need to say it because Nayamiya. Say, Radia then. What the thousands of the quarter, 50 pesos. I called a banker and he told me, because the interest rate, the treasury bill, I mean, what do you call it? Fixed deposits is now 2.7, 3.1, because treasury bill is now 4.8. And they say that thing is good. Good for who? There was a man who was building a house for his children. And he was starving the children. He said, "Me sit down, mamu. Me sit down, mamu. Or this is a sit down. Or this is a come do amu. Charlie, or board dance or start a plaster and many in a woo. It's one better than you. That is what they are doing to us. Listen, until we stand up and speak the truth from the word of God, we just accept anything anyhow. Somebody rise up and say, "I hear you." Am I speaking sense? Or maybe you don't go to the market I go. You don't go to the market I go to. Charlie, if you love me, stand up and clap your hands. If you don't love me, sit down. If you don't stand up and clap your hands, I will suspect you. All right, take your seat. I will finish very soon, but hear me. Somebody say courage. Say courage. Listen, it takes courage to act upon the word. Let me give you an illustration. All Israel, they all believe in God. But one man stood for 40 days and insulted God to the face, spat on the face of God for 40 days, and King Saul ran away. Yet they all believe in the word. But a young man who was a shepherd came. He didn't say, "I am coming to you through faith." Courageously said, "Who is this uncircumcised man? I will kill him." Everybody rise up and say, "Courage." Kokache nkrofo and nine say esuru kache obi say jije ntirase ene akukuduro. Kache jije ntirase na akukuduro.
Ye ni mu say ba bibia ene ana ehyiamu bia wo ne botae. Eju bia bonte na oyonko kobo. One to me, I'm now, anyone you ever see where so what there. I never quite sure. Everything you know, the best try to say. Many of them are already come out. One person, one more day. I saw him see a moon say, "Eddie Yaman said no. Mumma fire, no moon found one day."
Na medical crabeka minua ketwa energy and green transitions. Oka ni si wa kosombo. Na enra mebo yenu anuma omu ejuma VR ni Gridco mebo ma baso pa. If you say okohwe ejuma omu ye anka bebi na saa asemi si ye anka omu de abrofo engineers be free amanone abeso ano ama omu enso esi ye no ya ye engineers ye nuanom Ghana for abibifo broni bakompo enka ho Unhu enum fite bia wo ho broni bia nka ho ya ye engineers na ne e fe ne se ebi ye mabunu bebre so eye ma me ko hu e ma wo ho a omo so mo she tokro no mu a omo twe cable no em se ba ko me ni twa emfoni aba social media so oye service oye SHS university nche oye university nche ene e de no post e call VR Gridco, Sanko ye Juma ho. O Sati Juma or Gridco, we did 4 months back. And I also oka home and no more cable no. Within 2 days, not 3 units asaba. By the 4th day, not 4th unit, about 5th unit. Me wa hono na 4 units ye Juma, no more ye Juma on the 5th unit. And I'm catching him say, President Ebi answer na obefi na unit number 5 are starting. Ampanso manko drum crying, me feel home manko drum crying, and my friend me say, oh, unit number 5, you charge jail to me. Na najwa, and I didn't put friend me, or say unit number 6 and so, ejabem.
The government and its spin doctors, led by the NDC party officials who did that press conference, are trying to convince the people of Ghana that the loss is 15.6 billion Ghana cedis. And colleagues, we don't blame you. We've seen many of you reporting that the loss is 15.6 billion cedis. We regret to tell the people of Ghana that this is not true. The true operating loss of the Bank of Ghana for the year 2025 is 34.9 billion Ghana cedis. And in fact, if you add back the sale of the gold, or the proceeds from the sale of the gold, the 9.6 that I've just shown you, the true comprehensive loss position of the Central Bank of Ghana is 44 billion Ghana cedis. I'll show you with the numbers. As I've mentioned, that gold sale was to reduce it from 44 to 35, and also to remove the policy insolvency that they found themselves. I want to begin with a note of caution, and we give this caution respectfully, in good faith, and in accordance with law. Section 58 of the Bank of Ghana Act, Act 612 of 2002, prescribes the sequence for how the central bank's audited accounts should come into the public domain. First, the Bank of Ghana, within the first 3 months after the end of the year, has to transmit the audited accounts to the Ministry of Finance and publish same in the Gazette. And then second, that's subsection 2, the minister responsible for finance is supposed to transmit the accounts to Parliament with comments. The Act does not say that the Bank of Ghana should hand over the accounts to a political party to announce prior to the minister presenting it to Parliament. What happened on that Thursday when the NDC party, including non-MPs, came to Parliament, to the precincts of Parliament, to hold a press conference to announce the audited accounts of the Bank of Ghana, was an illegality. Not only was it an illegality, it was an amount, or it was an act of blatant politicization of the Bank of Ghana and its work. The governor, the board, and the government should take note that this politicization of the central bank will create issues for the operational independence and credibility of the bank going forward. And this must stop. Mr. Governor, if you allow the NDC party to dictate to you how to comply with the laws, you will set precedents that will collapse the operational independence of the central bank. The bank is not a political party. The board of the bank is not the majority caucus. The audited statements of the central bank cannot be reduced to a political party's press release. Politicization of the work of the bank is corrosive, and it should not happen again. I want to begin with a note of caution, and we give this caution respectfully, in good faith, and in accordance with law. Section 58 of the Bank of Ghana Act, Act 612 of 2002, prescribes the sequence for how the central bank's audited accounts should come into the public domain. First, the Bank of Ghana, within the first 3 months after the end of the year, has to transmit the audited accounts to the Ministry of Finance and publish same in the Gazette. And then second, that's subsection 2, the minister responsible for finance is supposed to transmit the accounts to Parliament with comments. The Act does not say that the Bank of Ghana should hand over the accounts to a political party to announce prior to the minister presenting it to Parliament. What happened on that Thursday when the NDC party, including non-MPs, came to Parliament, to the precincts of Parliament, to hold a press conference to announce the audited accounts of the Bank of Ghana, was an illegality. Not only was it an illegality, it was an amount, or it was an act of blatant politicization of the Bank of Ghana and its work. The governor, the board, and the government should take note that this politicization of the central bank will create issues for the operational independence and credibility of the bank going forward. And this must stop. Mr. Governor, if you allow the NDC party to dictate to you how to comply with the laws, you will set precedents that will collapse the operational independence of the central bank. The bank is not a political party. The board of the bank is not the majority caucus. The audited statements of the central bank cannot be reduced to a political party's press release. Politicization of the work of the bank is corrosive, and it should not happen again. Now, having dealt with that, I want to begin with a note of caution. And we give this caution respectfully, in good faith, and in a... The government and its spin doctors, led by the NDC party officials who did that press conference, are trying to convince the people of Ghana that the loss is 15.6 billion Ghana cedis. And colleagues, we don't blame you. We've seen many of you reporting that the loss is 15.6 billion cedis. We regret to tell the people of Ghana that this is not true. The true operating loss of the Bank of Ghana for the year 2025 is 34.9 billion Ghana cedis. And in fact, if you add back the sale of the gold, or the proceeds from the sale of the gold, the 9.6 that I've just shown you, the true comprehensive loss position of the Central Bank of Ghana is 44 billion Ghana cedis. I'll show you with the numbers. As I've mentioned, that gold sale was to reduce it from 44 to 35, and also to remove the policy insolvency that they found themselves.
All right, you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Audu Moro, and it's always a pleasure to come your way. Now, Good Morning Ghana is brought to you by Metro Digital and also the AH Cafe, proudly associated with the show. And I've said to you that if you're looking for a restaurant that gives you quality, tasteful meals, but at affordable fee or price, you've got to try AH Cafe. The ambience alone is unbelievable. It's absolutely mind-blowing. They're right here on the premises of the Ignite Media Group at Ridge here, Dr. on the Doctor Issa Street. So try them one of these days and let me know how it goes. They've got some fantastic meals. They've got several other stuff that I'm sure would excite you when you pay them a visit. Now, as you do know, on Mondays, what we try to do is that we bring non-partisans. As for people being political, it was always subject to people's perceptions and interpretations, but it's, for me, they are non-partisans. These are not people who you can say are members of a particular political party, but of course, their opinions may either be for or against, depending on what the issues are. But these are people who are from the academia, some of them are from civil society organizations, and some of them are just independent thinkers. And that's what we've dedicated the Monday shows to. But of course, it's not something that's cast in stone or cast in iron. I mean, from time to time, depending on the times and what we intend to achieve, we could just bring the NDC MPP on a Monday. We could have an all-female panel. So it's quite flexible. But by and large, we want to, largely, give that day or allocate that day to independent-minded thinkers, and that's exactly what we're doing today. Two very, very distinguished personalities have joined us in the studio, and they're here because there's a lot of talk about the Bank of Ghana. As you do know, the Bank of Ghana posted a 15 billion cedis loss in 2025, and that sort of lay bare the financial cost of what some have described as a forceful effort to restore macroeconomic stability after years of crisis-driven policy tightening. The audited accounts have showed that the loss widened sharply from some 9.49 billion cedis in 2024, while negative equity deepened to some 93.82 billion from 58.62 billion cedis. Now, you notice that most of the papers here have reported the minority and the majority's stance or the point of view or position on this matter, and that's exactly what we're going to be examining. And our guest will do justice to this matter. Two very exciting guests. You don't want to miss this interview. Very, very, as usual, it's going to be very intellectually stimulating, and it's going to be very riveting on this platform. So joining us this morning, and two of them are actually they are no novices. You know them. They are very good friends of the media. Now, Mr. Joe Jackson is here with us. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Dalex Finance. He's here with us this morning. He's taking time off his very, very tight and very busy schedule to join us. So we're very grateful for making time. Mr. Joe Jackson, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
For joining us on the show. We're so grateful that you made time.
On a Monday morning.
On a Monday morning. We're so grateful. I mean, it's raining, the streets are busy, and so sometimes the traffic situation makes it difficult, to come out of your house and get to work early. But this man, I mean, he's almost 60, and he's actually 60, isn't it?
I'm 60. I'm over 60.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. He looks good, doesn't he? Over 60, but
you're good for my ego.
He's been with us in the last 30 minutes. That's how early he woke up to be able to join us. He lives all the way in Tema. Can you imagine? And also joining us this morning is Professor Isaac Boadi. He is the Dean, the Faculty of Accounting and Finance, University of Ghana. Also a very, very good friend of mine. He's sorry?
University of Professional Studies.
Yes. UPSC. UPSC. Oh, sorry about that. Yes. UPSA. Yes, that's where he is the Dean, Faculty of Accounting and Finance. We're so grateful that you've been able to make time to join us. Prof, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, then. So I guess that we'll get on with the business of the day. And gentlemen, as I did indicate, most of the papers are reporting this matter. Now you look at so yesterday the minority held a news conference on a Sunday evening. It was addressed by the Member of Parliament for Ofoase Aribi. We know he has a founding and he has a finance and accounting background. He's also, a former information minister under the Etwell Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo administration. At some point, he became the Works and Housing Minister. He was the one who addressed the press on behalf of the minority, and he noticed that the Daily Guardian has captured it. Now, I believe 30 minutes or so later, the majority also issued a statement to counter what the minority had stated or has said or had put out. Now, you look at the Daily Guide today, the Daily Guide has reported actually both, and it says BOG's losses 44 billion cedis, not 15.6 billion, according to the minority. Now, Ernest Kofi-Addo in Parliament has reported the minority in Parliament has alleged that the Bank of Ghana recorded a far higher loss of about 44 billion cedis in 2025, disputing the officially reported figure of 15.6 billion cedis contained in the central bank's audited financial statement. Addressing a press conference in Parliament yesterday, the ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee, Kojo Oponkroma, said a detailed review of the 136-page audited accounts revealed what he describes as a deliberate attempt to mask the true financial position of the central bank. According to him, the minority's analysis shows that the BOG's underlying operating loss stood at 34.9 billion cedis, but what rises to approximately 44 billion when proceeds from gold asset sales are factored back into the account. The bank made an underlying loss of approximately 44 billion cedis in 2025, arguing that the headline figure of 15.6 billion was achieved through accounting adjustment and reclassifications. Now, he says that he explains that the central bank realized about 9.6 billion cedis from the sale of gold reserves, which was used to cushion the reported loss, while an additional 19.3 billion cedis was moved into other comprehensive income, which is called the OCI, thereby reducing the headline deficit. The minority further accused the central bank of abandoning internationally accepted accounting standards, citing the auditor's report by KPMG. Mr. Oponkroma said the financial statements were prepared using the bank's internal accounting policies rather than the full international financial reporting standards. I'll take a short break, gentlemen, because I don't want to interrupt my guests when they begin to comment on this matter. So please stay with us. Good morning, Ghana. Please don't go anywhere.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friend, Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friend, me once now.
Hey, that's you.
Improve car.
Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action.
Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Friend is sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
Sasso, come tum preko.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we start the blessing. Oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you.
Puma Drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
As the days come and go, there's always shit. Let colleagues explore all the planetary bodies. Our mission is in Uranus to treat hemorrhoids, anal fistula, anal fissure, anal incontinence, hydradenitis suppurativa, using laser ligature for pain-free and speedy recovery. On Uranus Street, Accra, is Main Tuber Hospital and Coloproctology Center. Trust Uranus with us and we will delight you. Visit Main Tuber Hospital today or call us on 0244 581 541.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozig. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Eji. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At to phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share nanda danya was mosquito call esudu womunumu. Na say spray with them musa. Try sima edronum ansana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
Cook Africa, Cook Africa, Cook Africa on AU Day. My name is Marcel, a typical Beninese, live in Ghana. I'm inviting all the Beninese or non-Beninese, I'm inviting all of you on the 23rd May at Metro TV at 9 a.m. sharp. I'm inviting all of you to come and then we'll enjoy Jenkple, a typical Benin food, which we use the similar ingredients as a jollof, the same ingredient we use for jenkple, but this time we add basil to it because that one is a different aroma we are looking for. That's why we add those extra spices to it to get what we really want. I'm inviting all of you to come and join. Mes chers amis, je vous invite. Venez massivement, on va célébrer AU Day on the 23rd May. Je vous invite. Merci et au revoir.
Oh Africa, c'est ça sans fort. Moi j'ai beaucoup.
All right, so thank you very much for staying with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. It's a special Monday morning. Why? Because today is a bit different as we do on Mondays. We bring independent-minded thinkers or independent thinkers, and also we bring civil society organizations on the show, and not the usual NPP and DC. You have told us that you also want to hear from people who are not strictly NDC and NPP, and that's exactly what we've done. We're very responsive and very receptive media organization, and that's exactly what we're doing. We brought them here. Joe Jackson is the Chief Executive Officer of Dalex Finance, and also Professor Isaac Buedi, who is the Dean, he's Dean, I believe, Accounting and Finance Department. Faculty. Yes, UPSA. So, gentlemen, you know, I did some small accounting in school back in Adisado College in '96. I have not read finance, I've not read banking, I've not read economics, but of course with the type of job that we do, you have to read and also speak to people like the two of you to help us appreciate the nuances of some of these technical areas. But what we do know is that we buy. We're consumers of products. We buy, we spend money to buy, and we also do things to earn an income. And so for those of us who are laymen, or we are mere mortals, we are responsive to price stability or price instability. That's all we can say. But you people are not just teachers of economics and finance and banking and so on, but you're also more or less like practitioners, you know. And so you would have to help us understand what's going on, what's happening. I mean, we have the central bank, that's the Bank of Ghana, it's posted its audited financial accounts, and we've seen what is in there. We may not have, a deep understanding or appreciation of what has been put out there, but the two of you have been talking. The political parties have hijacked it. Just yesterday, the minority held a press conference and gave us their view. They said they've taken their time. In fact, this is what they say, and let me just read to you exactly what the minority said. about this how do you call it? About this BOG matter. So they say that they say, ladies and gentlemen of the press, members of the public, distinguished colleagues, good afternoon. Just before midnight on Thursday, April 2026, the Bank of Ghana finally publishes 2025 audited financial statements on its website. Since then, the minority has examined account line by line, page by page, all 136 pages of it. We have also studied with care the propaganda attempt that preceded it by the NDC party, but that's it. For the politicians would look at that as well. So at some point on the show, we may have to speak to a member of the minority who is also a member of the finance committee. Taisa was supposed to have spoken to us earlier today, but we struggled to get through to him via Zoom. And so at some point in the conversation, depending on how it goes, we would speak to him via Zoom. He's in England at the moment. He's an MP for the Sakalerigo constituency and also a member of the finance committee. He's also a certified accountant. He's also a finance and an economics person who's also issued a statement in reaction to what the minority has said. And so at some point we'll speak to him. But let me start with Professor Isaac Boadi. Prof. Now, no, let me start with you. Let me start with you.
I met him here.
Let me start with you. You know, I like to start with people in academia. So I have a certain bias for you. So, Prof, I mean, why has this matter become so topical? Because you see, there are two schools of thought. There's one school of thought that says that, yes, the macro indicators are looking good. The economy is better today. But we must also be very interested in how we've been able to do this, i.e. the role of the central bank. Okay. And that if the central bank has made a loss, we must be concerned. And then there's another school of thought that says, no, look, the best judge of economic policy has to do with the benefit, impact, and outcome, not necessarily the cost of it. So forget about what it costs, what we had to do to achieve what we have achieved, but focus more on what has been achieved. I don't know which of the schools of thought you belong. I mean, what do you make of this back and forth, and so on and so forth? What from where you sit, what do you think? How do you see things?
Well, good morning, and good morning to your viewers as well. When I came, I saw my good friend Jackson here, and I must say thank you. He was on campus the last time.
Okay.
UPSA.
Adjunct lecturer?
No, he delivered a powerful lecture there. The Dean's program.
What topic was that?
The exchange rate, something on.
It was about the long-term sustainability of the city and the role of the gold board.
Wow. That's interesting.
Oh, you need to get the video.
Yes.
Very
please,
interesting.
please send me the speech. But isn't it interesting? I mean, actually, a coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what we're talking about today, basically. Anyway.
So, thank you, Jackson.
Thank you.
Very, very insightful conversation on that day. Moro, we are focusing on a very sensitive area of conversation that we need to take our political lenses off. And those who are watching, those who are hearing us must take their political. If you do that, you won't have a better conversation on this whole discussion.
Right.
What has been it's been the most topical issue, you said. Why? Because events before the publication of the results, several issues had happened. And therefore, we're waiting to hear the numbers and see how the figures will look like.
Okay.
In fact, before the publications, somewhere last year, we had several injections into the system, dollars. There was one event for something that happened during the same year,
right,
where we had depletion of our gold. Some our reserves were sold, and we were all curious about the justifications for the sale of the gold, the reserve that we had. And if you permit me, I can quote exactly what the central bank governor said.
Okay.
That we had in excess of gold reserves as a country, beyond the threshold. We were hitting almost 40 tons or so, whilst our peers were hovering around 20 to 30 or so. So those were the reasons given by the governor for the sale. So you understand that when you are to get a performance of that aspiration within the year,
right,
people will be curious and we'll need to know what the numbers should look like, and then we can interrogate. You also made a point about we should concentrate on the benefits or the outcome, what we are having, as against seeing those numbers. If we made a loss, and so what?
Yes.
I mean, but life, I mean, we're having good time as a country because you've seen inflation taking a nosedive. We've seen exchange rates having a very good account. So we don't need to worry. But then, I must be honest that I've been on the other platform, I've said it that several times. For a bank, a central bank to declare a loss, it's not in the news. It's not in the news. Check your records. That I think England, European central banks, other banks, central banks have equally recorded losses within the same time frame. So for me, it's not a major problem.
Okay.
The issues we have, or the issue we have, will be the causes of the losses we are talking about.
Okay.
That is a fundamental thing that we have to talk about now. Of course, the Bank of Ghana has a role to play in terms of ensuring macroeconomic stability, price stability, financial stability. These are the core mandate of central bank that we know, beyond, other ones that we know. So fine. So let's now come back to the report, which have been on media space for some days now. It is just like a child who had come back from secondary school or university, and the parents want to understand how the child performed. In doing that, the mother and the father will be sitting closely, watching the report or interpreting the numbers. Look at the entire report, the financial statement of 2025. In fact, it presents a deeply troubling, for me, position or a picture of a central bank in a sustained financial distress. That's what I see.
Okay.
A mental picture of the entire report. A sustained financial distress. But you see, if you check the entire report from the directors, they try to give you hopes or some optimisms of our future.
Right.
That it's not any major problem that we should be worried about.
Right.
But I also think that if you check critically the report, I see systematic failures. I see policy-induced losses, and I also see a deteriorating balance sheet. So if you subject this into discussion, these are the things that you see. But let me be quick to also point out that in assessing the performance of a student or an administrator, you don't always be looking for negatives. That's wrong. Look at some of the positives, and then you can be fair with your judgment. Remember the first day when the central bank, the governor was sworn in, he made a profound statement that his issue, he was going to tackle the negative equity of the bank and ensure that we return to profits. Check the video.
Right.
Profound statement from him. So we understood him clearly from day one. When he assumed office, he did something that was commendable. In fact, all the first MPC meeting, after the meeting, he published the entire decisions of the members, one by one. Commendable. But along the line, he stopped. I don't know why. But if he's listening to me, it was a very good decision, very good practice that must be sustained, of publishing each of the members' reports and their statement. Coming back to the report, anytime you pick financial statements, don't be quick to look at the numbers. What you have to do is to go through the auditors, see the highlights first. Because they will give you highlights. They will give you auditors' report, and they will give you directors' report before you even go into the numbers. So you can understand the wisdom or the rationale of situation of some of these people. Let's go up to the highlight before we talk about the auditor's report. Total operating income jumped almost 136% from 22 billion, from 9 billion to 22. So we jumped almost 136. Excellent. We'll interrogate that later. Operating expenses also went up 100% to 37 billion. Now, if you look at the net loss for the year, we recorded 15 billion, and that's what minority also came out to. But we'll come back to. I'm just giving the report as it is. Then we have 64% from last 2024 to 2025. Then total asset of the bank stood at 237, a jump. Then total liability stood at 333 billion, giving you a net equity in terms of the bank portfolio. I mean, not the total group for the bank, because they often give you the bank statement, performance, they give you the group. So we are looking at 96. Now, it tells you that this bank is insolvent. A clear picture of what it tells you. It tells you 96 billion tells you that, Moro, if you sell all the things you have to pay what you owe, you still cannot pay this amount of money. It's still there to be paid. So that is a typical scenario that I can give. Having said this, now you can look at the auditor's report. They have KPMG as the auditor. Now go to the auditor's report, the paragraph. There's a paragraph, I can't quote the exact page for you. The auditors, they wrote something here. The external auditors flagged that financial statements are prepared under Bank of Ghana Act, which depart from IFRS in critical areas. I don't know if you understand.
I get it, I follow.
Yeah. The auditor's own admission is that these statements may not be suitable for another purpose. This is what, and you need to ask why the departure from the traditional way of reporting, because we know the standard that we are using, which should be recognized by any other international bodies. When I prepare my financial statement here, and you are reading, you should understand it if you are not even in Ghana. Those are the standards. And we know the various standards that we have. But we are looking at international accounting standard, which now is moved to IFRS, and part, I think, 21 or so. And 21, 9, 7, and I'm sure 4, they linked. They are together in terms of how we report losses, forex accounting. They give us a clear idea. But the auditor will give you first information that we are departing this time around. Maybe you should be curious to find out several reports that we have prepared. Do they mimic the same thing? That we can understand. But for this one, this is what we are interrogating. So what it means is that these departures may direct comparison with other international banks. Impossible. You cannot compare this report to any other central bank. That's all that they're trying to say.
What's the standard practice?
A standard practice that if you're treating the AIS, which is a 21 or so, reports, all your profits should be declared and be reported by your P&L or the comprehensive income statement.
Okay.
That is the fundamental thing.
Right.
But now they tell us, in some critical areas, they are departing from the normal practice. Okay. You ask. So one area is gold revaluation. They will depart from gold revaluation. They will depart from FX gains and losses. And then will depart from foreign securities. What it means is that when your currency gains strength, your foreign or financial asset you hold, for instance, your FX, your currency, your gold, and your SDR, your special drawing for IMF, will deteriorate because you have seen an appreciation in your currency. Therefore, when you are reporting and you have losses, you should be able to capture all these losses and transfer them into your balance sheet. That's what we know. But now the auditor tells us we are departing from that practices. We want to take certain portion, one part, which has to do with the forex gains and losses. And that is where we had a figure of 5.4 included in the P&L. So that is the basic. Let's hold on. And let's now interrogate the statement from directors to stakeholders. These are the few things they read. Directors' report contained 5 major areas where the frame is challenged by us, our institute. 1, they talked about going concern. They talked about policy solvency claim. They talked about gold purchase program. They talked about salarization cost, and then revaluation losses, directors. The first claim they made on going concern, they said the director asserted that bank will remain a going concern based on projected macroeconomic recovery and recapitalization MOU with the Minister of Finance, signed January 6, 2025, we challenge this assertion. Why? You tell us that it's a going concern. If a going concern is to be assumed, then we expect what your assets should always be greater than your liability. So you turn into an equity position. But the figures you reported, you cannot claim it's a going concern. That's the first thing. The other thing is that he said it's going concern based on MOU with the Minister of Finance. They signed an MOU with the Ministry of Finance that there will be a capital injection to help resuscitate the bank because of their level. So if you want to tell us your going concern is based on MOU, MOU is just an agreement. It's just an agreement between you and the Minister of Finance. And you see, it's not a binding one. And this will take a 7-year horizon before you can even talk about this actualization of this MOU. So you cannot claim this is, a going concern. 2, they also said in the document, directors, policy solvency claim. Policy solvency claim. Before we even come to numbers, how do you make this such a statement? Policy solvency. It means that you are solvent. You don't have a problem. Now, you have a net policy solvent of 5 billion. Right? You cannot say this. Let's look at this. 9.5 billion gold sales income as one-off. One-off. Back that one off. Completely you are gone.
Right.
Now, if you want to say you are solvent, then we have a problem with this statement. All right. There was something that is also fundamental we need to know. That the purchase agreement. Let's talk about the OMO operations. OMO operations. You spent 16 billion for sterilization. What is the meaning of that? And I'm sure your viewers sometimes need to understand some of the technical words when they put out there. I give money to you because of some other reasons. You have a lot of funds with you. In attempt of collecting those funds, I cannot come to your house and pick the money. I must go through bank as a central bank to collect the money because my policy is reduce inflation. Because when I leave people to have more money in their hands without production, we have a problem. So in attempt of doing this, central bank decided to contact some institution the bank inflows, and then in that regard be able to collect funds from them. in the process of retrieving those money is a serialization, and it attracts a cost. And that cost amounted to 16 billion. And the total amount that they collected was about 93 billion. The total. The 16 happens to be the cost of retrieving those funds from them. And then its component, the actual sum of money, stood about 90. So when you do that, your liability. So the figure we are recording at 330 something, 90 something thousand happens to the Elmo figure that came because of a policy. That's why I said it's a policy-induced losses. Your attempt is to reduce inflation. In doing that, you need to do OMO. It's not the first time a governor done before. The other time, the figure was about 8 billion. Now it's gone to 16. It's not curious. If you keep injecting funds into dollars, into the system, you create the city, and you have more money into the system, that obviously you have to find another way to retrieve them. In retrieving, you spend that money. What it means is that your policy to targeting inflation or reducing it is not working. It's costing you more than the attempt of retrieving the money. My challenge is that even the institutions that, were targeted, for me, we should write an RTI. Let's find out these institutions, how much they got. Because for me, I'm worried. With that quantum, the cost of civilization, huge. I've heard other bodies who have claimed that we should, the 9.5 billion spent as a result of reduction in our gold reserve into the system. If it's a practice of an administration, I don't have a problem. But Moro, are you not curious, surprised to know that the very day this issue came out, the sector or the governor said, there's no problem. IFPP, we questioned that no, you don't need to deplete this reserve. You know the reason they gave? They said, we are doing this because we had an excess of our reserves, which we are not using for anything. Our peers, they don't have what we have. They are hovering around 2030. So there was a need to reduce. We didn't know. Now it's come to show that the reduction was to help balance the book. Because we got 9.5 billion to clean the books. Take that component off. We strip naked. I am concerned about the reasons the governor gave us. It shall come clear to tell us, because you would have seen your half-year report to see your performance. So they knew the performance. So the sale was just to help reduce the losses. For me, that's because if he gave that reason, those reasons, we question, we query, we wrote a lot of statements. Today, this is what we see. So, Moro, we did some diagnosis text on the entire financial statement. But let me quick to add, there's nothing wrong for a central bank to declare losses. Let me be honest. The fundamental problem we have, tell us the rationale for the losses. And for central bank to declare a loss, about 3 things or so should have occurred. One is inflation crisis of a country. Then you can tell me, I made a loss because we're targeting. Go back and check the numbers. Before 2024, we stood, I think the highest we had gone was 54 inflation, if you remember.
Yes, that was in 2022.
Was huge. Can you tell me the reasons why? If you go into the system, the reason, you understand. It wasn't, we're not happy with that performance. But it had dropped to 23 or so. Halved before the year ended and administration took over. It was halved. So I'm talking about inflation crisis, situation where it will warrant or we can even think. So when you see the projection, taking a nosedive, and administration takes over from 23, reduces it to what? It came all the way. Today, it is 3.2.
Yeah, 3.2, yes.
Good. Another condition is where you can say that there's an exchange rate or currency instability. The old administration had their own time. The horse has bolted. So now what do? You drop the exchange rate. The 2024 was about 14%, 14 to the CD, to a dollar. Another situation where you can think that if you declare loss, yes, acceptable. When we have situations like the COVID, the whole world. And let me also make this statement, that the existence of central banks are not there, in quotes, to make profits, but to ensure they have credibility. But if you depart from a standard practice being observed across the globe, where are you going to talk about? How are you going to talk about credibility here? That's my concern.
Right. Mr. Jackson, you've listened to the perspectives that he shared on this matter. I want to know what your take.
My take is
yes on this
matter.
matter.
We are in trouble this morning because I'm going to debate my good prof a bit today. You see,
it's happening once in a while.
I will start with this. I mean, there's several issues we should be talking about, but I'll start with this issue of IFRS. And the IFRS issue is interesting. Why? Because institutions like us who are governed, I'm talking about DALEX, who are governed by the central bank, all work to, we have to report strictly by IFRS standards. So it is, the first question is, why shouldn't the central bank also report to IFRS standards? But then research reveals something very interesting. Do you know how many central banks in the world report to IFRS standards? 2. 4 reporting to IFRS standards. 2. It is the South African Reserve Bank and the Central Bank of Kenya. 2. Do you know how many of them work to some modification of the IFRS? 4. Who are those 4? The European Central Bank, the Bank of England, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, and guess who the 4th one is? The Central Bank of Ghana. So now, the rest of the central banks and the reserve banks all do not work to IFRS standards. Kenya and South Africa are striking in that they insist on working because they believe there's the need for credibility in markets. It's so important. The 4 of us left, including Ghana, work to modified IFRS standards. Reserve Bank of the US, etc., etc., all the way to China, back, forth, whatever central bank you can think about. They have their own standards. So the fact that we don't work to IFRS standards is not a crime. Looking at our at the world, at the global issue. And why don't we work to IFRS standards? Because there is an issue that there's central banks, first of all, they are non-profit. So that gives them, because they have other objectives apart from pure profit. 2, they operate with large amounts of gold and other forex that are subject to revaluation. And in fact, it is the revaluation issue that leads people to say, people to claim that we don't want that revaluation, those revaluations, to create profit volatility. That one year we are up, the other year we are down. And so we have to be cautious. Now, that so what you have in Ghana is not, in fact, it is in the top tier of how central banks operate, rather than the other way around. And so, even though we are not operating to IFRS standards, peer comparison says, of all the central banks in the world, Ghana is in the top 6 with regards to IFRS reporting. And that's very important. So this, I'm very hesitant in making this IFRS issue the really big deal. Because you see, one of the challenges you have is this. I own this bottle of water. Good. Today, right, this bottle of water is worth 2 cedis. Tomorrow, it's 3 cedis. I still have the bottle of water, but that change can be looked at in multiple ways. And because the central banks hold such large amounts central banks hold such large amounts of gold, other assets. That's why this modification of IFRS standards comes in. So I'm hesitant. I would say we're even doing better than most of our peers. Now, to go to this second issue, which is policy solvency.
Okay. Now back to the
IFRS.
The IFRS matter.
Okay. You don't want me to surge.
No, just a quick one. I'm reading the minorities press conference, portion of it, and I would be glad if you can help me appreciate what the minority is saying. Now, it says some of you may ask, how can the headline loss appear so much smaller than the underlying loss? The answer is in the basis of accounting itself. And it is flagged in the audited documents by KPMG, the new auditors. And I'm bringing this up because of the modified IFRS matter that you raised. Now, it says that it's a KPMG draws attention to Note 2AI and writes, and I quote them directly. The consolidated and separate financial statements are prepared in accordance with the group's own accounting policies. As a result, the consolidated and separate financial statements may not be suitable for another purpose. Our opinion is not modified in respect of the matter. So this is KPMG talking. Now, translated into plain language, the accounts are not prepared on full international financial reporting standards. They are prepared on the bank's own internal framework. KPMG could not say prepared in accordance with IFRS. Do you get the point I'm trying to make?
Yes, but no central, the only 2 central banks that do so.
So why is KPMG raising this issue?
KPMG is what KPMG is telling you is that this set of accounts have not been prepared so that you can go out and compare them to, say, Absa or Zenith,
commercial banks,
or
financial institutions,
or other institutions.
Right.
These have been prepared to a set of rules that the central bank has. Note, it also goes to read the second part.
Yes.
It says what? Our opinion is what? Read that part.
So it says that as a result, the consolidated and separate financial statements may not be suitable for another purpose.
Yes.
Our opinion is not modified in respect of this matter.
Thank you.
So they agree with you.
You see, what the issue is simply this. If what KPMG says these accounts, if KPMG comes to audit me and he says these accounts are mugu, I'm not sure about what is happening, it will say I've modified my opinion.
Yeah.
It's very clear. It says we have not modified our opinion. Our opinion stays the same.
Right.
We stand by it.
Right.
Except the rules we used were rules not of the complete set of IFRS.
Right.
The complete set of IFRS reporting standards. International Financial Reporting Standards is IFRS.
Right.
But this is a set that is, in a sense, unique to
the central bank.
The central bank.
That's why I talked
about.
But
what I'm also pointing out to you, that only 2 central banks go the full IFRS org. Only 4 even base it on IFRS. The rest don't even bother at all.
Right.
They have their own sets of rules.
Okay.
Whether you agree with those rules or not is a different matter. Because what they're saying is that there are significant reasons why we cannot report the same way.
Okay.
And then the auditors go further to say, but the opinion we have offered does not change because of this matter.
Right.
So you can still rely on my opinion.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So we should look at this holistically.
Okay. Right. Now, let them continue. And I want us to end with this. On page 4 of the same audited document, the directors themselves are, and again I quote, the recognition and measurement criteria as set out in the IFRS accounting standards as adopted by the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana have not been applied in these circumstances. Right. The directors then disclosed that under Section 7 of the Bank of Ghana Act, foreign exchange revaluation gains and losses on gold, on special drawing rights, and on foreign securities are excluded from the determination of the bank's annual profit or loss. You see, the reason why we keep bringing this matter because it has a direct effect or impact on how we even calculate what exactly constitutes the loss.
Yes.
And that's why I'm raising this matter again.
Let's list those 3 items. What are they? Number 1.
Yes.
Special drawing rights.
Yes. So special drawing rights. So first of all,
exchange revaluation.
Special drawing rights and foreign securities are excluded from the determination of the bank's annual profit loss.
Okay.
So let me read the entire thing. The directors then disclosed that under Section 7 of the Bank of Ghana Act, foreign exchange revaluation gains and losses on gold and special drawing right and on foreign securities are excluded from the determination of the bank's annual profit and loss. They are pushed into other comprehensive income where they affect equity but not the headline loss number.
This is really the biggest departure from IFRS that happens.
Right.
It says that I'm holding large quantities of SDRs, foreign currencies, especially gold in our case, and foreign securities. These, because I don't want the volatility, and we could debate this, I don't want the volatility in income from year to year. And because I'm holding it, it's not as if I'm holding it, and so it's about what I'm holding. I exclude those ones from my
P&L.
Yeah. And put them, but they will reflect on their, essentially they will reflect
income
on my balance sheet, but not on my P&L.
Right.
Okay.
That's fine.
So long as we are consistent, this is fine.
Okay.
So let's rewind. We've had other years of losses.
Right.
Has this changed? No. I dare say no. You see, one of the rules that is important for all of us is that, for example, we are comparing 2024 loss to 2025 and saying the loss has...
Oh, you mean the 2022 loss, which is 60 billion?
No. I'm saying just even 2024 to 2025 to say the loss has gone up, right? It is important to ask ourselves, is what the rules we're using today, are they consistent with the rules we have used
over the years.
Right.
So that we can be sure we are comparing
oranges to oranges.
Oranges to oranges and not apples to oranges.
Right.
And I dare say that the rules have been consistent.
Okay.
Right? Such that let's not act as if this is the first time this is happening. Or that new rules have been introduced to take us out of a particularly disastrous looking report. In fact, the whole point, and that's very, more, are you with me?
I'm here.
You see, I would have accepted some of the issues if you could say that somewhere in 2025, you introduce new rules so that those new rules could be used in your favor.
Right.
If we have been consistent in our rules, then we can't complain. You can't have your cake. You can't eat your cake and have it. Because the rules have been consistent.
Right.
And it's important in all this that we look at consistency in applying the rules. And I dare say that number one, amongst the globally, only 2 central banks apply IFRS.
We talked about this
in full.
Right.
Number 2, Ghana actually has a modified IFRS, but of course you can't take some of the rules and leave some of the rules.
Yeah.
So, but if you go and look at publications about central banks, we're one of the 4 who are closely aligned to IFRS but modified.
Right.
Okay. The rest have their own rules.
Yes.
The other issue is this, that have those rules been consistent? If those rules have been consistent, then we should have been crying foul some years ago.
Right.
Not today.
Right.
Okay. So can we now move on?
So we can. Sure,
we can move on to the issue of policy solvency.
Yes, so policy. So before you talk of the policy solvency, so Gideon Wako on his Facebook wall, he's an economic advisor to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yeah.
He talks about, they said, this is the biggest non-crisis loss. Non-crisis, so we don't have crisis. in BOG history. A 15.6 billion loss, which is over 30, so he thinks it's 34 billion cedis in reality without any crisis. He has this way of calculating. It comes back to this whole model of calculation, accounting model. But I think we've dealt with that. Now, it says there has been no crisis to manage since the government took office, so there is no excuse for these losses. No COVID, no banking collapse, no global cost of living crisis, no debt crisis. MPP fixed all the crises by 2024 and left a GDP growth of 5.8%. NDC inherited stability and growth for Forex and are squandering it. They have reversed the recovery plan MPP handed to them. And the MPP losses were falling. And it says now they have spiked. The recovery path has been destroyed in just 1 year. It says see figures, 2023, 13.23 billion. 2024, 9.49 billion. Now 2025, 15.63 billion. He says that is regression. If it continues like this, we may never leave IMF program or return quickly by 2028. What do you make of this? We don't have a crisis. So why did we have to aggressively bring the CD, aggressively appreciate the CD? That's the point. That's the question he's asking. We don't have any crisis. We're fine.
The question you have to ask is, when you say you don't have a crisis,
yes,
were we out of the crisis?
Well,
were we out of a crisis?
No.
We were not.
There's still the fallout of the DDP, isn't it?
Yes, and there's a critical. You see, sometimes I ask the question. Assume I'm the man in the street. And I'll come back to being a finance person. But assume I'm the man in the street. What do I appreciate more? A loss of the central bank, and as much as that is in context very problematic. Let's not use this to say that the loss in itself is not problematic. Right. It is problematic. But let's also be clear in our minds that for the ultimate person in the street, CD at 14, cedi at 10.5. Which one do they appreciate?
I think the latter, obviously.
Good. For me, in the financial sector, rates where they were and rates today, which one do I appreciate?
Today's rate, obviously.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, and we could go on and on and on. Some of the things don't even make a difference to. So, for the man in the street,
you left out inflation.
Inflation is a very it's a very murky concept, because you see what happens is that even though inflation has fallen, it is the prices, the rate of increase that has fallen.
Slow down.
So for the man in the street, he's still facing some pricing increment too. So be careful when you go.
And that's why they say, sorry, I was inflation. I saw 2 cities, and obviously 2 cities, one person.
You notice I say that, I say clear, because inflation itself is
tricky.
It's tricky.
It's very tricky.
It's tricky. And you'll be surprised that even seasoned economists, when they meet the man in the street, they struggle to explain why. And they also know 50, about 20, and then they see and you must still quietly.
So I now understand why you left it out. When you're talking about what matters to the man on the street.
Because what matters to the man? Because the man on the street will quickly count. As for the dollar, he can feel it and see it. As for the what do you call it? The inflation, you say, "Sam, Papa, can see now you be cancer."
And of course, they will feel the cost of borrowing. The cost of borrowing.
When I talk about the cost of borrowing, I've now moved from the ordinary man to the business.
The business, okay.
To the business, and you see, I also stayed away from talking about high net worth individuals, because they will not agree with me.
I know.
Because they will tell me, my depositors are telling me, why are the rates so low? What? So let's be clear about the constituencies I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about the man in the street,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about the business.
The business.
And so, when you look at this in its generality, and you think, and here inflation, see, the stabilization of the cedi is a very critical thing, because the cedi is interesting, because the cedi is the biggest pass-through back to inflation.
True.
So there's a very symbiotic, dynamic relationship between inflation, because we import a lot of things. When the cedi comes down, you actually find inflation also one of the first things that are affected.
Yes.
But back to this issue.
Okay.
My point is that if you take the average Ghanaian and you say, I spent less than 2% of all the money we all generated, our GDP, so that you could get these benefits, will they say?
We'll be happy.
And that's, you see, and it's important that we address both constituencies. We address that constituency, and then we also address, as the finance committee say, hey, central bank, if it was a subordinate regulated agency that was this insolvent, you would have issued a prompt corrective action.
Right.
So, maybe we ought to discuss this issue of the losses.
Yeah.
And to say that the biggest issue is that long term, these losses are not sustainable.
But the Bank of Ghana itself recognizes, and that's why it tells us that there's all kinds of reforms happening.
Thank you.
And there's actually a policy shift.
Yes.
So
now, but that comes to the issue of policy solvency.
Thank you.
Because you see, policy solvency says that given its revenue streams, and our expectation of what is about to happen, will it be making enough money to pay for its core operations? Will it be making money enough so that over the next few years we could expect that it could absorb these losses that it is that one were there before 2025 and were increased in 2025? You know the answer I gave to that?
Okay.
They are solvent, but it's tight. They're solvent.
But it's tight.
But it's tight. Because
no breathing space.
There's very little breathing
space.
And there's a very critical. What we did over the weekend was to look at modeling policy solvency and what the issues are and where their revenue is coming from. And we realized that there are certain critical assumptions. The most important one is this, that inflation shouldn't shoot up again. And so that on the fiscal side, the side that is the expenditure of the government, it shouldn't take any somersaults. Otherwise, that policy solvency that is there for now, but it is very tight, could take a somersault. That's number one. Number two is that the exchange rate is still critical,
right,
to this process. And in our best case scenario, we don't see these losses being absorbed in anything less than 4 years. But for now, is when you look at the revenue streams, is the policy solvency, which is that, let me give you as an example. Moro owes money.
Yeah.
Right? But can we reasonably expect that the income Moro will get will pay for his expenses this year?
Yeah.
And maybe leave some to start to cushion reduce the money he owes.
Yeah, exactly.
And the answer simply is that for the central bank, it is yes. Just like it could be for your case.
Okay.
But things are tight tomorrow. If anything goes wrong, if you go and spend some money doing some fancy things, you know,
you'd be in trouble.
You could be in trouble.
Yes.
So here's the thing, right?
Right.
My submission is that, are they solvent? Yes. Is it tight? Very tight. And they need to watch inflation like a hawk. And they need to watch what is happening on the Ministry of Finance and very carefully. Because should inflation take a somersault, we're in trouble.
Right.
The more difficult one, though, is this. What if the shock is external?
Wow.
Then we run into trouble. So if I was being kind to the governor, I'll be kneeling down in the morning and praying, Charlie, Trump, solve this Middle East war, because, you know, I love this proverb. It's an Akan proverb, so I'll say it in Akan, and I know Prof will understand it, then I will translate it for you and the rest of your listeners also. Kitso, nkisi moko, uma Akan, no one churn. You know what it means?
Yes.
The lizard goes to eat its pepper, and the frog starts to sweat. Trump has gone to eat his pepper. Now look at us in Ghana here. Now we're discussing how that external shock will give us a somersault. That is the problem.
Right.
If the shock is external, then we don't, you know, it's easy for me to say watch inflation, because after all, inflation is the central bank's own mandate. I can say keep an eye on the government, because you are the government's banker.
Right.
So you should be coordinating with them and making sure that you don't grant them any deficit financing.
Right.
But if the shock is external, that one, I don't know how the central bank is going to. So here's the point.
Okay.
Right. I've seen all sorts of definitions about policy solvency. And I really say the issue is fairly simple.
Okay.
Well, it's income, and we have analysis of the income, right? There could be an issue to say your income is very dependent on gold, or the net gain from sales of refined gold.
Right.
And if anything happened to that, you could also be running into trouble. But so that's why it is tight. But at the heart, for now, it is solvent.
Okay.
And remember that if it wasn't policy solvent,
then
the going concern issue would not be valid. And so we would expect, you see, I also operate from this angle that when you tell me KPMG has audited its books, I have to have some trust in KPMG. I have to believe that they come with some level of professionalism and knowing how emotive this particular issue is, that they would be cautious and at the same time make sure they don't smear their own reputation. So that they haven't qualified the account means that they truly believe that there's an issue of going concern. Because the going concern was there. You've made these losses. Will you, any company that makes these kind of losses, they will be asking you, will you survive the next year?
Now, Big J, I'll come back to you. But Prof, I want to read this before you come in. Again, I'm looking at the minorities' statement that it read at yesterday's press briefing. It says that in 2025, the Bank of Ghana recorded a strong policy solvency position, improving markedly over the 2024 outturn. Now, fellow Ghanaians, he says this is not true. Now, watch closely as we demonstrate to you. Now, the income from operations is, and still about policy solvency, right? Because it's under policy solvency. Now, he says, the income from operations is 22.2 billion, and the cost of OMO, which is open market operations, is 16.7 billion cedis. You haven't even touched on the open market operations.
No, there's a lot more.
Oh, there's a lot more. Okay, now we have some time. We have about some 50 more minutes. So now the difference between these, it's what gives the Bank of Ghana the supposed 5.5 billion surplus, which they claim shows the bank is policy solvent. So it talks about how much is earned. 22.2 billion is spent, 16.7 billion. There's a difference of 5 billion, which is a billion. It's surplus. Good. Now it says it is in the 9.6 billion cedis, which is included in the income from operations to arrive at the 22.2 billion. Now it says this 9.6 billion is the net gain from sale of gold assets. The Bank of Ghana is not in the business of trading gold. Like any other entity, selling off assets to generate income cannot be a sustainable way of running an entity. This is disclosed in note 9 of the auditor's statement. It is not a recurring operational gain. It is a one-time disposal of strategic reserves at a moment of rising international gold prices. Now, if you strip out that one-off cushion, income from operations would have been 12.7 billion. And if you subtract the 16.7 billion from the 12.7 billion, the BOJ would have reported a deficit of 4 billion. And he alluded to that in his earlier presentation. I'm talking about Professor Isaac Boadi, that the sale of gold was more like a bellwether. They had to, the central bank had to sell gold.
It was the biggest single
transaction income of 9 point something, which is that if they hadn't done that, they would have been in trouble. But there are others who have also explained that perhaps the central bank did not do so necessarily because it noticed it was going into trouble. It was getting itself into trouble. Here I'm talking about its finances on its books, but it did so because, and I think I've heard the spokespersons of the central bank say at the time gold prices were good. And you have talked about the volatility of these assets and the reason why it's not even added to the main accounting, that is added into the OIC. So they say the prices are good, we need more forex. Why don't we sell the product? But of course, their critics are saying they don't trust the central bank. They think the central bank had to sell because they realized that they were making losses and they had to make up for it. So I'll get your thoughts on that, and whether from where you sit, what could have necessarily been the main motive for engaging in such a large volume of transaction at the time that brought in some 9.6 billion, which has actually been included in the 22.2 billion to then arrive at a surplus of 5 billion. Do you get the point I'm making? Yeah, All right, Prof, so please come in. We're all learning some accounting.
I'm not sure. You see, this should be able to exhaust it. We need a bigger platform.
Yeah, need a bigger platform.
The issues are I was speaking properly. so close. It's good to have
But today he's a student.
At the time,
today he's a student. He's taking notes. Professor Joe Jackson.
Because he's going to do that.
No.
So what we're going to jump left, right. So I'm saying, hey, Joe Jackson, what did you end up with a professor?
Oh, your left side. And it's accounting and finance.
I'm thinking no.
So you don't forget. Okay. No, he doesn't want to forget. All right. Sorry. I'm told we're supposed to go on break. I'm sorry. We're going to take a break. No, let me take that breather.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Freddy Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Freddy once now.
Hey, that's you. Impruka. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action.
Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Freddy sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
Sasso, come tum preko.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calkits. Happy smile.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make me say, oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you.
Puma Drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
As the days come and go, there's always shit. Let colleagues explore all the planetary bodies. Our mission is in Uranus to treat hemorrhoids, anal fistula, anal fissure, anal incontinence, hydradenitis suppurativa, using laser ligature for pain-free and speedy recovery. On Uranus Street, Accra, is Main Tuber Hospital and Coloproctology Center. Trust Uranus with us and we will delight you. Visit Main Tuber Hospital today or call us on 0244 581 541.
Wabedum Tamaso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwema Besisia. Abozig. I can say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey, but I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji, Dabio, baby womb. Ready? Hey, baby womb. Uncle. Ah, Eji. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah.
Uncle.
Sorry, well, uncle, where would I die? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share Nanda Daya was mosquito call Esudu Womunumu. Na say spray with them musa. Chaisima edronum ansana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
Cook Africa, Cook Africa, Cook Africa on AU Day. My name is Marcel, a typical Beninese, live in Ghana. I'm inviting all the Beninese or non-Beninese, I'm inviting all of you on the 23rd May at Metro TV at 9 a.m. sharp. I'm inviting all of you to come and then we'll enjoy Jengple, a typical Benin food, which we use the similar ingredients as a jollof, the same ingredient we use for jengple, but this time around we add basil to it because that one is a different aroma we are looking for. That's why we add those extra spices to it to get what we really want. I'm inviting all of you to come enjoy. Mes chers amis, je vous invite, venez massivement. On va célébrer AU Day on the 23rd May. Je vous invite. Merci et au revoir.
Oh, Africa, c'est ça sans fort. Moi j'ai beaucoup.
The government and its spin doctors, led by the NDC party officials who did that press conference, are trying to convince the people of Ghana that the loss is 15.6 billion Ghana cedis. And colleagues, we don't blame you. We've seen many of you reporting that the loss is 15.6 billion cedis. We regret to tell the people of Ghana that this is not true. The true operating loss of the Bank of Ghana for the year 2025 is 34.9 billion Ghana cedis. And in fact, if you add back the sale of the gold or the proceeds from the sale of the gold, the 9.6 that I've just shown you, the true comprehensive loss position of the Central Bank of Ghana is 44 billion Ghana cedis. I'll show you with the numbers. As I've mentioned, that gold sale was to reduce it from 44 to 35 and also to remove the policy insolvency that they found themselves.
All right, so you're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television, a special edition. We have, what you do on Mondays, we have Mr. Joe Jackson here, who is the boss at Dalex Finance, Chief Executive Officer, and also he's a finance and economic analyst. Also here with us is Professor Isaac Boadu. He is the Dean, Accounting and Finance Department, UPSA. We sincerely apologize. The flyers that went out at the UG, the University of Ghana, we're so sorry about that. It was a typographical error. It's unacceptable though, but then we say sorry about that. He's from UPSA. We're having a conversation on the back of the financial statements of the Bank of Ghana, which has been put out there, and the interpretations that people have sought to put on it. Yesterday, I said the minority held a news conference and gave their own understanding on interpretation of it. The majority quickly responded by issuing a comprehensive statement to counter the claims that have been made by the minority, and the two of them here have been trying to help us to understand exactly what's in there. Quite clearly, Mr. Joe Jackson thinks that it's half a glass full, and Professor Isaac Boadu thinks it's half glass empty. So that's what I'm saying. It's all about perspectives. It's all about perspectives. But we would most certainly need a bit more time to digest the issues. There's quite a lot of things to look at as far as the central bank's matter is. But like I said, for we the ordinary people, what does all of this mean to us? What it means is that the macroeconomy, the economy generally is stable. Price of goods and services are quite much better, and we are better off today than we were yesterday. But the experts will tell us that yes, they agree that, but there's still a conversation that ought to be had because we know what to do better in how we're going about things. Anyway, so Prof, you have some responses to what Mr. Joe Jackson has said, because I'd want us to, after you're done, we'll look at what's the way forward, and we should look at the policy reforms that both the central bank Gold Board are undertaking in order to deal with some of these losses, some of which we could call them the exchange rate differentials, exchange rate differential losses, and so on. So, Prof.
Yeah, I'll react to a few things made by my good friend. One on KPMG and the paper money. You know, the issue about KPMG, wonderful institution. They've done well. They have credibility over the years. They prepared the financial statement. We have questioned the reason, the rationale for those statements made by them. We shouldn't forget, the same institution that we are talking about, that audited, Central Bank, had previously audited some banks before. If you realize, you remember?
Yeah.
Where are those banks now? Those were the banks that had to go up, and some were having achievements over records. I think First Bank, they pronounced on First Bank, and this First Bank, and that, over the years. Where are they now? So we should be careful. One even are giving that accolade to this same institution. We can't dent their credibility, but we are worried about the statement they made in the financial statement. And that has generated the whole debate. A financial statement should not be ambiguous. No, it shouldn't. If we have, there's so much ambiguity in that. What are we talking about? One financial statement, we should trust financial FX accounting. The other years, some years ago, we should not. I mean, it shouldn't be. We are from research background. I mean, where we ply our trade. We do research. When you publish a paper and you send it out there, you call something general liability. You should be able to generalize the result. People can feed into what you are presenting all the time. If it becomes a limitation that you cannot replicate or learn from what you have done, then there's a problem with your report. So whole institution tells us we are departing from one standard. Look, the same institution, in the same report, I said the report should not be ambiguous. The Bank of Ghana claims International Financial Reporting Standard compliance in the same report. Then the same report, they deviate from another standard. What did you do here? It's not confusing. you accept one, but the other you say, no, we don't want to accept it. Because those ones, or the ones we are talking about, will have to do with profit. If you combine the OCI, the Other Comprehensive Income, plus what was declared in the P&L, that gives you a combined figure of 29 billion. 29. Yet the bank recorded 5.4. Where did you hear this? Then transfer the other one to revaluation, reduction of your reserves. I don't know where you heard this before. So you pick 5.4, then you drop almost about 23, took it out. So the issue is that it's confusion standard. Check from the figures that I quoted. The critical point is that under AIS, which is the same as 21, the FX gain and losses, you reported that one in your P&L. Then your other comprehensive, the large losses, you kept it there. Why do you take one and leave the other?
But Prof, I get the point you're making, but whilst at it, and as Joe Jackson has said, this has always been the standard. It's always been the procedure. It's always been the way it's been done. So why are we having issues with it now?
Yeah,
I
would have loved to have produced
what existed
several reports
done
by same institution or other, because they change them every 4 years. Maximum 4 years.
True.
Then we can subject this into discussion. Then we'll agree.
Makes sense. We could get a data of that.
Because I see one figure picked, and you tell me you are compliant with the same standard. Then the other one you drop, and you tell me you're not compliant. We should depart from. That's where I'm talking about.
Hold on. Are you suggesting that KPMG is chopping and changing when it comes to how they do the accounting?
I'm
the central bank.
I'm interrogating a report.
There is no consistency.
I'm interrogating a report for a particular year.
Yes.
Presented by an institution.
I get that. But the question for me is, what has changed about how KPMG has been doing this financial statement for the central bank? What has changed? Hasn't that been the model over the years? Do you get the point I'm trying to make? I mean, why are we critiquing the how now, today? Why are we critiquing it? Because you're talking about inconsistencies. And I'm saying, hasn't that been the case from time immemorial?
Well, I have not challenged on this.
Okay.
The other reports.
Right.
It's up to BOG to tell us.
And say,
and maybe
this is how it's always done.
Because we had a report on Friday.
Right.
What our institute is going to do is to find out the other reports over the year. That will help.
It's a fair
conversation. But for now, we are interrogating what we have.
What we have now.
So we call something paper money.
Right.
Paper money. And that paper money was what my friend was talking about. That you have your currencies sitting with other on your borders. You have your gold reserves. You have your gold. You have your drawings. When you reduce, your city appreciates. Those figures that you have naturally will reduce in value.
True.
That's what my friend was talking about, paper money.
True.
But in the same paper money, why do you take one and leave the other?
Okay.
The same paper money you have, you pick 5.4. You leave 23.6 billion. What do you need to take off?
Right.
Because together should give you 29. Paper money, you don't need to add. It's fine. But the same standard will tell you all your loss and gains must have immediate impact on your P&L. But you decided to pick one and left one. And you tell me you are compliant.
Okay.
That's what the debate is.
Right.
Now, the other thing that we have done, which those things were not captured in the financial statement of BOG. And those who are listening can conduct several texts on the BOG financial statement. And that's what we also do. When you bring a statement, we'll try and do diagnostic text about various indicators. Go and check liquidity test quality. check the income interest margin test, check the gold reserve depletion test, and check expense ratio test. You'll be amazed the figures you're going to get. Staff personnel. A year a bank recorded almost the negative equity. And if you do, you even accept the same 15 billion and not even 40 something we are talking about. Is it prudent for such an institution to employ almost 304 staff within a year? The bank recording losses. They increased their personnel costs of 44%. Prudent, solvent, this is what we are saddled with. Do other tests, gold deflation tests. Do net interest margin.
But if you just look at the staff increase without looking at a commensurate attrition. You know, and even what is it that these persons who have been appointed in addition to what already existed in terms of what is it that they are supposed to do, then we're not painting the full picture, isn't it? I mean, so you look at a place like Metro TV, let's say 15, we have a staff of say 20. We decide to increase the staff by 100%, we now have 40. Now, the 40 as a figure may not be able to tell the story unless I tell you that the extra 20 are supposed to do X, Y, Z. And that's what we brought them. And these are their key performance, you know, and these are the key, how do you call it, measurables that they're supposed to be delivering. Because there's something you want to do. You remember when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had 125 ministers at the time when he came to power, and everybody was complaining and said, look, don't just look at the numbers. But I am a man in a hurry. I want to do X, Y, Z. And so allow me to work with my 125 ministers. Because at the time, he says, you look at the out end, look at the impact, look at the outcome. And then people came later to say, well, if we look at what you've been able to deliver, it doesn't justify the 125. And he himself came in the second term and made it and brought the numbers down from 125 to 88. So I'm saying that if you just look at the numbers without looking at what is it that they're supposed to do, we may not get the full picture. In as much as I get it, that the numbers look a bit high.
Memoro, whatever we do,
will
translate into a bottom line.
I agree with you. Bottom line, I get it.
Yeah, and the bottom is what you're
It's a loss, isn't it?
The bottom line from 2025 is what we're discussing now.
I agree with you. But then, if you disaggregate what the losses or the causes of the losses, and you have said it, part of it has to do with the revaluation, which is really no fault of anybody, really. And then you're also looking at exchange rate differentials as a result of the policy design when it comes to the domestic gold purchase program. And then there's OMO.
Yeah.
Where does the staff...
The fourth one
which has
is
to
the
do
staff.
with? Well, that's where it comes in.
Yeah.
But what is the percentage of that?
It increased about 44% from last.
No, I get it. No, I'm saying that it's percentage contribution to the loss that we have.
I can give you the figures.
Yeah. So then, so that we're able to have a more, how do you call it?
I can give you because the major part was. I don't have it here.
I think the major part has to do with the exchange rate. Yes.
But the fourth item happens to be that one.
The fourth item.
Yeah.
And then you also have the open market operations, I think is about the second.
Yeah.
And then the third one has to do with the...
so for the income...
Yes.
The operating income, the expenses.
Okay.
Other operating expenses.
As a percentage of...
So I think about 13%.
Or 17%.
No, I have it here.
17.
I have it there. Other operating expenses, about 13%.
Okay. As a percentage of the total loss.
The cost of open market was 44%.
Okay.
And then
which is the big
gold losses. Yes. Followed by the net loss on gold deals.
Okay.
That's about 23%.
Right.
Then we have that of 13% buyer, which includes what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I have slightly different.
Just slightly different. That's fine.
So
we can work within 13 to 17%.
So the point is that a company,
okay,
if this happened to be your own company, Moro, would you allow this company to run?
Right.
Sometimes we need to ask ourselves questions. And that's why, I said it from the beginning. I stated that let's take our political lenses in discussing this.
All right.
It will help the matters.
Okay.
As when we do that, we will not be able to go into detail and understand what happened this time.
That's fine.
And it's worried.
Okay.
I'm
All
worried.
right. So let me read a few messages, and then I can give, because it's 9:44, and we're supposed to end at 9:55, so we have just 10 minutes, unfortunately. But let me read a few messages, and then I can give you 2 or 3 minutes each. So in a nutshell, what I would say, how do we move away? How do we do better going forward? So let me read this. So Moses Gbawe, he's a former audit service staff. Now he says that is Prof a chartered accountant or has ever been in practice? I'm asking just as a matter of interest. The standards allow non-compliance with the standard to better present the financial statement and disclose the matter. The auditor in their report stated that the BOG has been consistent in its presentation and disclosure. That is what the standards require. The auditors issued an unmodified report, which is what external and internal users will be interested in. He's an auditor himself. Now, this one from Eben from Kwabenya says the so-called huge loss claimed as a claim by the minority of the Bank of Ghana is better than what we witnessed under the past regime of abysmal performance. If for nothing at all, Ghanaians have seen the appreciation of the cedi against the foreign currencies. They should tell us what their so-called losses in 2022 added to Ghana's economy. Greetings to Honorable Julius Deborah. This one, Carlos from Ododo says that with regards to the economy, if the MPP professor or neutralist, oh Carlos, you have to do this. Let's start crying. If the MPP professor, if the professor or neutralist truly understood economic management, he should have advised his party when they were in power. They failed to run the economy to the ground. Now that the economy is gradually recovering, they have the audacity to criticize. If they knew better, they should have acted when they had a chance. They perform poorly and should remain silent while this government works to improve the situation for Ghanaians. I don't know him to be an MPP member. I do know him to be a lecturer and the dean. So, Carlos, I don't know where you're getting this information from. Anyway, what President Mahama and the authorities must do is ensure that those who squandered state funds through corruption and mismanagement are arrested and prosecuted. That is what Ghanaians expect. And it says, and God bless you. And God bless you too, Mr. Carlos. Now, Manche Bruce II, he's a professor too. He's a lecturer at Takoradi Technical University. And he's a regular viewer of the show. He says, more, contrary to the submissions advanced by NDC majority, the said accounts were not prepared in full compliance with international financial reporting standards, but rather in accordance with the bank's internal accounting policies, a position expressly flagged by the auditors and acknowledged by the bank's directors. It is this caveat that permitted the reclassification of significant losses, particularly foreign exchange revaluation losses, to other comprehensive income OCI, thereby resulting in a reduction of the reported headline deficit. Even more dangerous is the BOG's apparent acquiescence of its PR duties to the NDC. I thought the report should have first gone to Parliament through the Ministry of Finance. Why lower the standards when you promise to reset? Amazing convictions, Manche Bruce II. Now, Arnold says that, Arnold, thank you very much to know that you're locked in. Now, Professor Budi has confused me more than enlightened me. Is he saying that the reasons for the loss are not discussed in the BOG statement? He wants to know. Musa Abatwa from Kumasi says, the Bank of Ghana deserves praise for transparency and prudent management, despite recording 60.9 billion cedis loss in 2022 amid 51.4% inflation and a sharply depreciating cedi. Losses have now reduced to 15.6 billion as inflation and exchange rate pressures ease. Now, this shows clear progress, not a failure. Dr. Johnson Isiam and his team merit recognition for their disciplined leadership. I've heard some people say that Dr. Johnson Isiam and the Central Bank have become a victim of their own success, Anyway, let's hi, brother. We're being misled by the minority, Vaikojo Pogroma, to believe that the BOG is insolvent, and that's false. In the midst of having stable economic outlook, vast stable cedi, a very low inflation rate, hovering around 3% because of the hard work of BOG Gold Board relative to preventing our gold from being smuggled out of the country by undesirable elements. We need to snub the notion of incompetency or insolvent narrative being pushed out there by the MPP and rather applaud the BOG working tirelessly with the Gold Board in changing the face of Ghana's economy positively, which once upon a Papa Bisu sends that message. Samuel Brian Boabin says, good morning. The Bank of Ghana is being run like DKM and God is love. Dr. Johnson, Pandit Isiam and his enablers at the Central Bank are focusing solely on debt write-offs. Everything else is secondary. He's repeating what they did, which was the banking sector to its knees. The whole country is in a crime scene. The economy is being criminally managed and at a supersonic speed. To borrow President Mohammed's words, that's Samuel Brian Boabin who sent that message. We were built to speak to Ata Issa. Perhaps we'll do that tomorrow because our time is not a good friend of ours now. So,
equity issue.
Okay.
The equity issue.
Okay.
The bank's whole is in the region of 96 billion that we have to address, and it's not sustainable in the long term. So it will utilize even open market operations.
Right.
That says it says that if you have excess liquidity, I take it off you, add into the market. So you have excess money, I take it away from you because I don't want it to go out there chasing the few goods we have and causing prices to go up.
Inflation.
Now, that was a bit on the expensive side, to put it mildly, right? So we are paying high interest rates just to keep our homes and stable. Now, things that are good for the central bank is this. Even if we have to undertake open market operations, the cost will be much smaller because the margins, the rates are much lower and the margins are lower. So that is a good thing. But that policy must be looked at because it was expensive in 2025. And we must make sure going forward that it is not that expensive. The reliance on gold income is a problem. And we must, and you see, gold is remember that this whole gold board issue is we're dealing with artisanal and small scale miners. In a that is the kind word to call them. Others may say anything up to 60-70% of them are galamsey. So we've got to look at, are we solving the galamsey issue? How do we ensure that this gold board thing works not just in terms of mopping up and stopping the smuggling, but bringing it in under a legal way so that it can be sustained. And that's one of the issues. Then this DDEP, the problem is there. It's still going to be there, right? And so long as there's DDEP on one side, and we need an injection from the Ministry of Finance to keep them sustainable, it leads us to worry about independence going forward. Even though the record of independence of the governor in 2025 versus the Minister of Finance was actually quite good. At one time, some people were even thinking that there was no policy coordination. Then, finally, I would say the cup is half full. The margins are tight, but it can be done.
I will add to a few things alluded by my friend. A few things I'll add is to find out whether we know our problem as a country. And we know our problem that BOG is facing. Others, when the report came, people have sought to say that it was because of DDP or whatever. But I tell you, from all the lines that I've checked, there was no mentioning of DDP in it. But I'm also quick to also add that the staff personnel cost, which consider about the percentage we talk about, should be reduced. Then government must find a way and pass that MOU quickly. If we don't support the central bank now with what we have seen, we recorded a loss of 60 billion some time ago. It reduced to 2024, 9. Now it's gone up again. So we should find what is really wrong and then provide solution to those things.
Fantastic. So Discover MNC Group Global, your number one partner in minerals and food commodity trading, is real estate. They also do real estate development, general logistics, procurement, management consultancy, investment advisory, import and export. They have headquarters in East Legon, Accra, Ghana. They also have offices in Dubai, Hong Kong and Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, Virginia, USA, Arizona in Italy, and Hanover in Germany. They connect markets that drive business growth with tailor-made solutions to meet your needs. So trust us to maximize your value in every deal. And reach us on MNC Group at mncgroupgh.com or call 0302 998 246 or 02655 05 337 or 056 103 2252. MNC Group, totally reliant. My name is Audu Mo. Thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Big thanks to Professor Isaac Bodu. He's with the UPSA. He's a Dean of the Department of Finance and Accounting. Thank you very much for joining us. And also Mr. Joe Jackson, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Balex Finance. We're so grateful that he made time to join us. Have a good day. Hasta la vista. Bye-bye.
Across Ghana's cities and communities, one issue affects all of us: water, sanitation, and environmental health. As urban population grows faster than sanitation services, poor waste management continues to threaten public health and our goal of universal sanitation by 2030. Ghana has policies, infrastructure, and partnerships, but one thing that is missing is a strong central voice. And that voice is The Clean Report, a 1-hour weekly TV program produced by Ignite Media, bringing experts, field insights, and policy conversations together to drive behavior change.
The Clean Report, championing cleanliness, inspiring action, building a healthier Ghana. Showing every Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. only on Metro TV.